Hello, my name is Simen. I'm a bass player in Leprous. Currently on tour, playing here in Finland today, Helsinki, and you're watching GRIMM TV.
Let's start off easy. How are you doing today?
I'm a bit tired. I don't like off days because off days in the Leprous universe usually mean not an off day, but a travel day.
Okay.
And that kind of throws me off my rhythm because I'm a very routine-based person. So I like to have my routine throughout the day. And that's obviously pretty hard when you're stuck in a metal tube or a coffin on wheels. Traveling, I think we must have been like 150, 160 or 1,500 or 1,600 kilometers yesterday. Yeah, and the boat. So we had to get up for taking the ferry. And so when everybody gets off the bus to get onto the ferry, we measure everyone's ferry grumpiness. And it's kind of a competition to be the least amount of grumpy. That's very important. Yeah. But it's been a long freaking tour. This is like the gig number 36 of 40. When we're all done, I'll be 50 days away from home. So it's a long stretch. So I'm getting a bit fatigued. I must admit that. Yeah.
Kind of guessing that's like the very last week now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I'll see my family this coming Saturday.
Yeah, when you have your sort of hometown gig, right?
So yeah, we have Oslo as the last gig.
Yeah.
That'll be glorious.
Well, coming home to play your last show of like a long tour, that's probably for a band always like pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's my favorite to end a tour in Oslo. It's my favorite. Yeah. There's no ifs or buts about it. Yeah, just looking forward to getting home to see my loved ones.
Yeah, for sure. This tour has been, well, pretty successful, so to say. And there's been a lot of like stops that were sold out, like including this one today.
Yes.
Must feel pretty amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of different measurements to kind of gauge where you're at as a band. One is obviously like the marketplace. And that's always a good thing. But I think actually the biggest win of this tour, for my part, is like the inner workings of the band and the environment has been very good. And has made it a lot easier because like playing in a band, I usually say it's a very complex form of organization. It's so I think the biggest success criteria for this tour is actually the amount of good times we've had without fighting, without like those silly family bickering things. We kind of managed to steer away from those spaces, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I can imagine after being like on tour for weeks at end, and like you said, being in a coffin on wheels for that long can be a bit strenuous on the relationships. Yeah,
that will get on the nerves of the most patient people. Like some people think they're patient until they go on tour. I mean, it's a unique lifestyle that's definitely not for most people.
Yeah.
It's like you're always a leveled-headed aunt. Never seen her stressed even once. place or on a fucking tour. Let's talk.
I saw in some other interview that you did like quite some years ago that you had kind of never imagined yourself like having life as a like rock musician.
No, still don't.
I was just gonna ask like how are you looking at that now?
No, still don't.
Yeah.
No, I'm just I don't view myself as a rock musician per se, I must say, because that's not my background. I kind of fell into this gig, and it turned from like a session gig into like a steady member gig. And I kind of used that process to explore more of my artistic side, because I come from like the trait of being a musician, you know, learning your scales, learning your techniques, learning your different styles.
Very classical.
Yeah. I come up like through the conservatory. I even worked, you know, within music education for many years. But like, but being a part of a growing an artistic expression, and being a part of that has been a very exciting journey, definitely. So I appreciate like life throwing me this curveball, I guess. Yeah, it's been good. Yeah.
Besides like you just said, like appreciating that you have been getting along really well on this tour, is there like any like moment or like anything that springs to mind of like the past weeks that was for you personally like kind of like a highlight, or like that just
highlights of tour?
It's not really when I get sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a highlight on tour is always when you. A highlight for me on tour is when you go out trying to explore a city, because you do have a few hours of leisure time during the day. And when I'm out exploring a city and seeing something new, that really gives me a lot of energy. I'm like the tourist of the band, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a lot of things in the band. I'm like the dad in the band as well. So I like to stop and like read the planches and stuff, and take pictures of the planches sometimes, and you know, take meaningful pictures of like the basilica of a church or whatever. It's I do all the daddest stuff, but it gives me so much. So I guess we played a lot of French shows, and I think the city of Bordeaux. I've been there once before and like checked out some of the more like standard monuments, but just walking around the streets, seeing how people live. We had excellent weather. Yeah, it was a very nice day, and then straight to the venue to play. I think that was one of our sold-out shows. Not sure, but it was a good one. That was a good day. And during the daytime, I took my computer out, got lots of stuff done. I got the workout in. It was like a perfect day on tour. A very productive day from when I got up in the morning to when I, you know, sleep. That's a good day for me when I feel like I've checked a lot of life's boxes, to say it like that. It gives me energy.
Sometimes the biggest or nice moments are in the smallest of things.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to be. I think. Yeah, I'm on my way to be more like that. The older I get. Yeah.
After all this really long tour, like later this year, you guys are gonna make it all the way over to Latin America.
Yes, please.
I don't know if it's the first time for you to get there?
No, we were there in 2018.
Okay, yeah.
And looking forward to going back, because those guys are crazy.
That's a very consistent thing that I've been hearing.
And it's a lot of fun to play for Latin American audience. They're very engaged, to say the least.
Like Latin America, Japan. Those are like often the two that you hear like, those places are crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe with our Japanese audience, they're very polite, very like, dare I say, no, I don't dare to say that. We're in 2022. I feel like there's this distinction between our Japanese audience and the South American audience. I really appreciate both for different reasons. I've stuck the landing.
I just heard of a lot of bands that the crowds, like once you get them going, that it can go really wild at times. Like,
yeah, well, that's probably true. That's probably true. Yeah. I just remember the first time we played there, we were done playing, and I was the first one out of the venue, so I had my suitcase on wheels and my bass on my back, and then I was going out of the venue. It was a venue inside of a shopping mall, so we were in the 6th or 7th floor or something. And I was supposed to go out, and there was this line to get into the venue again. So it was quite an early show, so I thought maybe, well, there's probably a show after ours. But they made this perfect line. And when I walked towards them, I could see them like sticking their heads out like. And then they had queued up to meet us, but in such a perfect line that you couldn't like, I don't know, it was like perfect geometry. and when a couple of them like turned like this, that was such, I don't know, Japanese moment, dare I say. Yeah. And then I just had to turn around and go around the corner and laugh for a little bit, and then I obviously walked back and said hi to people. It was, the Japanese are very well organized.
Some countries have made an art of queuing.
Exactly. I really appreciate that, by the way. Yeah, I would much rather live or be a part of a queuing culture than a non-queuing culture.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I like in Finland they have that a little bit too, like the queuing thing, like get on the bus or something like that, and they would tend to queue a bit more than what I'm used to from Belgium. Just a heap that goes.
Exactly. Or like in Turkey, for example, Turkey is terrible when it comes to traffic and like just the norms of how to behave on public transportation and stuff. It's terrible. The further south you go, the more the chaos tends to. I don't know why it's like that, but it tends to be like opposite.
Well, you're quite busy now with touring, and you just recently like released like a new version of the album you're touring with, basically.
Live versions. Yeah.
Has there been already like any talks or work on like some new work?
Yeah. We're starting writing the new record when we get back home.
Yeah, I was kind of guessing a little bit since there's like a bit of a bigger gap there.
This tour actually marks the end of Affiliate album cycle, with the exception of the Latin American tour. And I think it's a cool thing to document it live. To be honest, I didn't even know we were doing recordings during the festival season. We had a huge festival season, or at least a lot of shows. And the live record is from that festival season. So, gonna start writing music.
Something to look forward to in the sort of nearby future. It's gonna take a bit, of course.
So it was good to start off with like a blank page as well. Since Leprous is kind of sort of an ever-changing band, I hope we really shake things up this time, and I mean like really. Do something totally new. That would be nice.
Interesting to see.
Yeah.
It's actually something I've been hearing more and more, like of bands or musicians that are making the kind of thing, like of really like putting their focus like on one thing at a time. Like really like, okay, this is wrapped up, and now we focus on this, and then this, because like splitting the focus kind of, I guess, works again. It's interesting to hear that come back like lately more and more. I'm guessing we're already sort of about there. Okay. Like, just want to have a short chat like on tour. Is there like anything at all you would like to add still, like towards whoever is watching this?
No, I guess I want to encourage people to go to see live shows. Both me and my wife are professional musicians. She's hired in a symphony orchestra. And I also have like a job as a kind of a public hired manager for the part of the country I live in. And those are really small markets. But it can be very hard for people in the cultural and music industry, especially if it's not like connected to a very big city or a big scene, to make it as like to be like a year-round promoter setting up shows regularly. And I think every city needs a festival or needs like a all year-round promoter setting up different shows, like rock shows or classical shows or whatever. But I guess that the audience during lockdown is kind of slacked off a little bit, or kind of forgotten how cool it can be to be at a show, regardless of the genre. Because people have, you have all these COVID kids, dogs and cabins and all that shit. Or kids are not shit, I'm sorry. I'm a father, I'm the only father in Leprous, so yeah. But I think just go out and enjoy shows, because it gives like joy in life. And it's not something you can like take with you, like a physical thing, but it's something you will like carry with you for life. So I would encourage people, especially the people living, outside of like the city centers, go and support your local promoter and your local bands if they're any good. I mean, you don't have to like listen to shitty music. If you think it's shitty, it's shitty. Yeah, you catch my drift. Go out and don't hesitate to go to a live show and take some risks. How much is it? Like 20, 30 euros. Do that once a month. Go out to see a show. Yeah.
Especially like that. Like I said, like keep an eye on your local local scene.
Exactly. Keep an eye on your local scene, because like Leprous were started at the small, dare I say, I already used the term shitty. It's like Notodden is somewhere in Norway. I mean, it's Leprous is a very unlikely outcome from Notodden, or even Skien, where me and Robin is from. Everything starts with small beginnings, and if you want to see like music and culture grow in general, you need to like we need the audience.
Yeah,
so it's very important. That's very important.
Like we like run our own like small venue back in Belgium.
Yeah,
and it's we advocate for that local scene constantly too, because if you then look at how much people spend at like tickets for like huge bands or huge productions.
Yeah, the legacy bands.
And then we decide like, look, hey, this is what you pay for like the like basic ticket.
Yeah.
This is how much shows and how much bands you can see like when you just come to us. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And
when I get old and fat and satisfied and lazy and all that, I hope I won't be one of those, legacy fuckers being out there draining the marketplace, especially post-COVID. And there was so many reunions, and I got so pissed so many times. Like they're out, pumping the value of their catalog and then selling it to some investors for billions. and post, I got so pissed at so many of the old. I don't go to legacy shows because number one, the old, they probably, it's most of the time really sad. And I, for me, in that perspective, I'm very locked into that perspective of like the young people coming up and doing something new instead of like, you know, seeing an 80-year-old skeleton like moving around on stage. I don't. Yes, it's fascinating to some extent, but it's not presenting something new. I find it boring. To some end.
The only thing I would appreciate of something like that is there are some of those legacy bands that actually like have their eyes and ears on what is going on new,
exactly,
and actually bringing those along. That I really appreciate.
Exactly, I totally agree. It's very brash, very like a blanket statement, of course. It's a generalization, but I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I don't want to be an old man in a young man's game. You will see me quit this shit long before I'm 80. Yes, please.
Right. On that note.
Yes.
Right. Thanks for the talk.
Thank you.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you so much.